Might join us. But there you go. Here comes Hamza. Big up, everybody. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. We've got the professor himself, the man that needs no introductions, Professor Hamza, as they know him on the social networks, social media. Come back, Hamza, and obviously our Tom, journalist one. Hopefully, we're gonna get another City fan. I hope my friend Johnny to come on as well. And we're going to be building up to one of the most fascinating derby games in a very long time. This game is fascinating in so many different spectacles. It's really fascinating. So I'm hoping to see how this game goes on. But big up Usman. Yes. How confident are you, Mr. Structor? You know me, I'm never confident, especially when it comes to derbies, especially what happened to us last year. So the question for me to answer tonight is that if Man United put in a good performance, does the tag go away? Does the cowardly tag, I tagged them, does that go away? Does that go away? That's the question. Hamza, how you doing, bro?
How you guys doing? Oh, I'm good, bro. How you doing?
Good, thank you. We're well, man. I hope you're keeping warm, you know what I mean? It's a bit breezy out there, a bit brisk out there. You know what I mean? You're down south is a bit warmer, you know what I mean? It's a bit warmer down in the dirty south.
It's warmer, very warm. Nice.
Yeah, compared to Manny. And then let's not talk about Sheffield, the Steel City.
Yeah.
They don't know what cold is. They're like, cold? What? What is that? They don't even have the vocabulary. So big up. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification button if you're not. Well, it lets you know when we're next live in it. So there you go. You can find Hamza. What is your tag? Hamza, Professor Hamza on.
Yeah. The social one I've got, it's just the Twitter one. It's let me see. Sorry, man, I don't know. Yeah, it's really at Man City Hardcore.
At Man City Hardcore.
Yeah.
Let me just change that so people know where to follow you. Because after tonight, at Man City
Hardcore.
Yeah. Let me just change that for you. So at Man City Hardcore. You are hardcore. You don't know what's hit them tonight. Therapy Army. You don't know what's hit you tonight. You don't know what's coming. If they only
It's
knew.
H-A-R-D. H-A-R-D.
See, I'm dyslexic, innit? That's what it's
H-A-R-D.
H-A-R-D. There you go.
Hardcore.
Hardcore to the core. There you go.
Hardcore.
There you go. Big up, people. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, the man that don't need no instructions. If you're on the Twitter spaces, then you'll know about Hamza. At Man City Hardcore. This guy don't give absolute two bacon. He tells it as it is.
Absolutely.
As it is. So big up Hamza. Big up for coming on. And this is Tom. Hamza, Tom. I'm sure you've heard each other in the spaces before.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah. Evening. How are we doing?
You might have. So I'm saying from the United side, I was just telling Tom, from United side, it is going to be it's really fascinating. It is a fascinating game from a United point of view because, and for me personally, I use the word cowardly. And I've not used that for many United teams throughout the years. I've never used that word. And that's strong words because I'm a Mancunian. So in the derby, I feel it. And that for the first time ever, I think, because I look through the history, and 44 minutes, Manchester United to be 4-0 down was something unheard of. It is unheard of. And I know everybody goes, well, we beat you 6-3, 6 at Old Trafford. I'm like, no, 3 of the goals, Man City goals, came, we were 10 men, and we were trying to make it 3-3. And you scored 3 goals in injury time. So that's the kind of mentality. And that day I was at Old Trafford going crazy and cheering the team on. Even when City was scoring, everybody clapped the team off because we're like, that's how we want you to play. We want you to go for it. We don't want you to take like losing 3-1, even with 10 men. We have to go for it. You know what I mean? To try to get the draw out of the game. So for me, the cowardly tag sticks still. And this is a game where these players can basically take the cowardly tag away. Now, that don't mean that United have to win. It means that in a derby, do you have the three elements that's needed in a derby? Grit, determination, passion, aggression. Do you have these things that are needed in a derby? Nobody really remembers the football. They remember the fight, because derby game is a fight. It's an equalizer. That's what they say. The derby is the equalizer. Form goes out the window and it's an equalizer. So when I look at that, I think there's three results in a football game. You win, you lose, and you draw. No, but it's the way you lose. It's the way you win. And it's the way you draw that matters. Especially to me, the way Man United lose games is what matters to me. Because there is a dignified way of losing and there's a cowardly way of losing. And that to me is important. So that's the context I'm giving this derby. It's very interesting. Hamza, I'm going to go to you first since you're the guest.
Yep.
Obviously, the result that you had last night.
Yeah.
And the fact that Arsenal have been top of the league for quite a while, even those early stages, were just not even at the halfway point of the Premier League.
Yeah.
But they've had the psychological mindset of being top of the league for a while.
Yeah.
Bringing Erling Haaland, wasn't City supposed to clean up?
Absolutely. We were supposed to clean up, but keeping was to clean up in European level, because I think Arsenal first have been that great. Congratulations to Arsenal. They've had this hunger, desire, young manager, young coach, young players who have been going through game by game. Because and I think the other thing is people are not expecting them to be there. So people don't take them as serious as City are. Let's, for example, we play Brentford. People know Brentford will come in, sit at the back, hoping for a counter, hit us on the counter. When they play Arsenal, it's a completely different side. They have a bit of arrogance, oh, we can beat Arsenal. And I think the fact that this is first Arsenal side, that they're surprising people. So next year, people are going to take them much serious. People are going to play different football to them. People are going to be more aggressive. They're going to try and win that game or draw that game or hit them on the counter. I think City have thrown away 3 games, I think. 3 games that would hold them responsible. Brentford, losing that game is a disgrace. They should lose at home to Brentford. Everton draw is a disgrace. Aston Villa away is another one. They're expected to win those kind of games. And the key thing to us is Arsenal have been great, yes. But we have to chase for that league, because we have to win this league as well, because we're expected to win the league. We're expected to win the league. So coming to this game, after drawing to Everton, Southampton was a bit lax. You could see they were a bit lazy. They were not. But this team, I expect more from them. Haaland addition, Alvarez an addition. A lot of players went to the World Cup. They've come back. I think now is key. This is key now. This is what makes champions. You've seen as United, when you go to that Fergie era of January, February, you go on this winning run and you don't stop. And Fergie's team can be under pressure and they deliver it. And Pep expects the same performance, and experience is what will matter. The players know we can do it. And can we do it against our rivals? United are on form. We beat them at Etihad, but now it's a bigger game. It's way bigger game now, because United have to show the pride. Are they really back? Are they really back? That's what United fans are looking for. Show us. You've been all these other teams, but now City are coming. Rashford is playing brilliantly this season.
Yeah.
And we have to look at Rashford like he's playing completely different. And even as a fan, I try and make excuse. I say, oh, probably he's playing for a contract. I've never seen him play this well. He's coming to his last year of contract. You know, we have to throw that. But he's brilliant as a player. And we have to be careful of Rashford. But it will depend. Let's see how United play against us. And how I think we're going to win that game. I think we'll win this game. Because we've come from a defeat. And City don't lose game and lose another game. They're under pressure to win this game from fans. And they expect it. And it's a wrong time to play us. Because City often, when they come back from a losing game, they're under pressure to win. And I think players like KDB, Bernardo, they're outstanding. In this kind of games, those are the guys that don't falter.
Fascinating. So, with everything that you said, I think you've answered my question, because I was going to say, what kind of form? I think you've answered. You said champions don't really lose 2 games in a row, and that City's not happened to since you've been with Pep and since you've been on this great run. A United fan could say, you know what? There's always the first. But I'm going to go to Tom. Tom, from what Hamza's saying, there's an aspect of it playing to United's hands because City are so desperate to win.
I think it comes down to Pep Guardiola and the sort of setup in the team that he wants to put out, because we've seen when it comes to nitty-gritty parts, especially in the build-up of a season, he normally gets it right when he needs to go on a run of 10, 15 games and storm to the finish line to win the Premier League. But when it comes to those one-off games where it's a cup or it's a tournament or it's something like that, there is the element of doubt in the back of his head of, right, I need to make adjustments. I need to do more. I need to think more into it. And when he does think more into it, he goes off track and then he goes off part. And you look at, say, not to dwell on the past, but what happened, say, with the Champions League final, not playing a central defensive midfielder in that final was criminal. And it cost Manchester City that final ultimately in the end. And he was sole blame for that. And you go into games like the Derby, for example, where this game, I personally think it defies both teams' seasons, because since the restart, Manchester United have looked absolutely perfect. I can't really think of a game where we haven't put a performance or got the result out of the game that we probably deserved. But you look at Manchester City, it's not exactly been the hot scoring, firing team that we've seen at the start of the season, where they, such as blew Man United away 6-1. And I thought that was a 6-1 game because he took the foot off the gas. It could have been double figures in that game. There's no underestimating that. But the facts of the matter are, you go into a game like tomorrow, there's a lot of optimism around Pep Guardiola and what sort of team he's going to pick. Ten Hag, again, I think it comes down to the basics and the fine margins, because I think both of them aren't going to buckle. And I don't see either of them pulling back. And what I mean by pulling back is putting in more defensive players or looking more from a defensive mindset. I think they're both going to go for it. And I think they're both going to go toe-to-toe, because I think in the run-up that Manchester United have had, I think that brings the momentum of, we can go at Manchester City. And I think even with the Southampton game, there is the vulnerabilities there that you can get at Manchester City's backline. And I've always said you can play Manchester City, and the way you play Manchester City, or not even just Manchester City, but you play Pep Guardiola, is you play him on the counter-attack. It's happened all the way through his career when he was manager of Barcelona, Dortmund. And I think when you have key players like Rashford, you have players like Anthony, who was causing problems even at the Etihad as well. Even Casemiro, who wasn't our main sort of midfielder, who was at the Etihad. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be as much as a tough game as many people think. And what I mean by that is, it's going to be down to the fine margins. And I know there's one certain person in the chat, Alicia, who always says it. It's the fine margins, Tom. Alicia, do you know what? I'm going to agree with you for once, love, because in this game, I don't think anybody's going to get blown away. I think, yeah, you might have 2 or 3 balls go in the back of the net, but I think they'll cancel each other out. And this Erling Haaland, optimism or anything like that, if you nullify his area that he can operate in, and you make it so he has to go deep and he has to operate in the same area as Kevin De Bruyne, they're going to have 2 players operating in one area, which we know at our own football club, when we had Ronaldo and Fernandes, it doesn't work when you want players to drop off and try and drop in. So if you can push Erling Haaland back, or you push him forward into Kevin De Bruyne's operating area, suddenly Manchester United then have the control over Manchester City's attacking line. And their vocal point is Erling Haaland if they play him. And that's why, for me, I'm speaking if I was Pep, I would think more drastically and more logically about it. I think Julian Alvarez has more chance of causing Manchester United problems than Erling Haaland. And I'll give the context and the reason as to why. Because you bring Erling Haaland on 60, 70 minutes, Manchester United have already dealt with a little quick nicky player who's going to make runs in behind, drag your defensive line, bust the offside trap that you're going to try and play, and the high line. You then bring Erling Haaland on when you have tiredness. the set pieces as well defensively is going to be a concern for Manchester United later in the lateral part of the game. And at the end of the day, the way that you beat Manchester City, I've always said, counter-attack. And Manchester United have proved it in the past that they can do it with basically the same players that they've had now. These players have done it before, Nuruddin, so why can't they do it again? There's no reason why they can't do it again. But we just have to get control over the game and don't let it get out of hands like it was in the first 10 minutes, Nuruddin, I'll be honest. We were a bag of nerves at the Etihad. We looked shaky, we looked lethargic. There wasn't really much dictator or control. But we've seen the progression and the development of the team. So at the end of the day, we've got to go for it. And I hope Ten Hag does stick to his philosophy and the plan that he's put in place up to now. And I don't think he'll revert. I don't want him to revert back to type where you play 5 at the back or you bring more defensive solidity in there. You know, because if you did that, Nuruddin, in midfield, instead of playing Eriksen, if you're going to go defensively, you'd probably play McTominay, wouldn't you? That's the best defensive option out of him and Fred. But if you're going to play more of a progressive and control game, you need energy. Eriksen defensively will not give you that energy all around the pitch. He'll give you creativeness, yes. But you don't need that in this kind of game. You need people who are going to press people. You need legs. We'll go back to Ollie's words. We need legs in the midfield because you do.
We need some legs in here. We need some more legs in here.
Exactly.
We need some.
And that's what I'm saying. So let's just try and get some control in the game for the first half, and then we can go from there.
Listen, I didn't even know the game was on tonight. That was a London derby.
Yeah. It's Fulham, Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Charles Felix, welcome to the Premier League. He got a straight red card, apparently.
Wait, has he?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. In the chat, everybody's saying he got a red card.
Let me have a look. I know it's not a televised game. I knew that, but I knew it was on.
Yeah, Nuruddin and Tom, what kind of striker would you have? Fluidity?
Oh, mate, he has as well. Expensive, though, and got more expensive. Oh, Top B, mate. Top B. Do you know what, Nuruddin, right?
Todd B. Tax. Is it Todd B. Tax?
Let's just dissect this for 1 second, right? Todd Bowley had to put up a £1.7 million investment before he could buy the football club. He's already blown through £500 million of that budget already, and he's barely been the owner for 18 months.
Crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That is crazy.
Nuruddin, so what kind of striker you would have a fluidity out number 9? Go on, Nuruddin. You can answer this one.
Benjamin Sesko for me.
Sesko. I'd say Sesko or Vlahovic for me, personally. I just think the physicality of both players, the height, the movement as well. It's not. I don't think the game's not about pace anymore. It's about physicality in the modern day.
Yeah. Listen, Alien Tunnel, we're gonna come to the team that we're gonna pick. But hopefully Hamza can return. What's happened to Hamza? I hope he's all right. He's got technical issues, but come back. I'm just going to tell him to come back, man, because I've got some questions for him. Must because he loves winding people up. He must be trolling Chelsea fans. I know he trolls Chelsea. He trolls everybody. Professor Hamza trolls everybody. But big up to every one of you. Please smash a like on the video. I genuinely did not know that it was Villa. It was Fulham and Chelsea tonight. It's on BT. Oh, okay, it's on BT. They're cursed. Wow. You know how many years they've given him? I think they've given Graham Potter 6-year contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to get out of that 6-year contract, it's going to be.
And they already paid 25 million to get him out of Brighton.
Yeah. It's going to be the biggest gardening leave payout ever in the history. Those of you who don't know what gardening leave is, in the old days, they would sack the manager and then they would go, the manager's gone on gardening leave, basically. So that they're still paying him. They have to pay him for the rest of his contract. So like David Moyes, Man United gave him a 6-year contract as well. They were paying him for a long time. And even Van Gaal, we gave Van Gaal, I think, 4-year contract and we were still paying him. So big up everybody. Listen, Clive, come on here, Clive. Jump on, man. Come and defend your boys, Clive. If you want to jump on, have you got the time, bro? Let me know. Going to be a draw, he says. Wow. There he is. Hamza's back. So, Hamza.
If the internet logged me off, sorry, guys.
It's all good, man. Wi-Fi's moving like the Etihad, you know what I mean? Moving like the Etihad, eh? It's like your fans, non-existent, bro. Non-existent, not turning.
No. I'm going to the game, you know. I'm going.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. We'll be there, man. I'll try to keep a lookout for you, man. Somebody saw you on social media and they sent me a thing. Said, "No, is that your brother?" I said, "It must be some relations down the line, bro."
Hey, come on, bro.
Because I've got bare cousins who are City fans. You know what I mean? One or two of them are born again, but there are a couple of like hardcore. I'm talking about when you were in the old division too. You know what I mean?
Or Main Road and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
But Hamza, so it was fascinating actually before the Southampton thing game.
Mm-mm.
In one of the press conferences or in a clip, whether it's a quote from written quote, like Pep Guardiola took his eye off the ball and was talking about the derby before you played Southampton. Do you think he took his eye off the ball?
Absolutely.
I mean, what did he say? Give us the context. Give us the context. If you know what I forgot what the quote was.
I think he said something that he's got some plan worked out for United, surprising plan and all that stuff. And he wasn't concentrating at Southampton game. I think, and a lot of our players were, the game was focused on Man United because they thought Southampton, bottom of the table, will take them out easy. We played Grealish, Palmer and all that, but that was a good enough team to knock out Southampton. But they underestimated that in this league, you cannot underestimate anyone. Mm-hmm. And he had he thought that the key game was that Old Trafford game. He didn't think about Southampton. He didn't talk about Southampton much. And I think that was a bit naive and disrespected a bit Southampton because they came to a game there and they played.
It's a cup final. It might be the Mickey Mouse Trophy, but it's a cup semi-final regardless.
Quarter-final especially, you've beaten Chelsea and you've beaten Liverpool. So you've gone a hard way and then you lose to Southampton. That's disappointing. Very disappointing. You've knocked out Liverpool and Chelsea in EFL Cup. And now you lose to Southampton where you expected to win. You think, what's going on? You're 2-0 down, half-time.
And the worst thing about it, it was a convincing win. It wasn't a smash and grab. It was a convincing win.
Absolutely. And he panicked because by 2-0 he knew he needed to rescue the game, but Southampton just parked the bus and they played smartly and they got that victory. And I think a lot of our players, they were focused on that game. Look at how they played so well against Chelsea.
I mean, you've not had a shot. That's what somebody said. You didn't have a shot on target.
No shots on target. No shots on target. Completely. No shots on target. And that's what I'm saying, that performance, okay, the only thing that will get them away is the fact that but you could have been the semi and then you could have gone to the final and then you could have won that first trophy by February. And that's what, it's a bit frustrating because we didn't just beat Luton Town and Gillingham and whatever is, no disrespect, Charlton, and then got there. We had beaten Liverpool and Chelsea before the World Cup and Liverpool after the World Cup. So, that's why it's disappointing.
Hamza, to be fair, everybody can beat Chelsea now.
But 2 in a row.
Listen, everybody can do everybody can roll over Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's getting some of his own magic mates sprinkled on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the moment, every team's sprinkling some of that. I mean,
I don't see what they're complaining about. They're playing the way that Graham Potter plays.
Felix just got sent off.
Yeah. Felix got sent off.
Felix got sent off. Red card, apparently.
I'm shocked. Yeah, I just saw it.
Let me just get this alien terminal.
How could you? They bought you for 11 million euros loan fee for 5 months, and you get sent off that you're gonna miss 3 games. Like, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Like, how? 11 million euros.
Was it a red card though? I'm not seeing it. Was it a red card?
It was a red card.
It was a high tackle apparently.
Wow.
High fault. He's
tried to think he's coming to a physical league.
And he played so well. He's played so well. First half I watched him. He played very well.
Oh yeah, miles ahead of the Chelsea forwards. Miles ahead of them.
It's good. Funny. It's so funny that's the Simeone in him, innit? Simeone coaching, eh? Let me get Alien Tenno. Meanwhile, Eddie Howe just rolls on. Of course, Eddie Howe's a fantastic coach, People are not laughing at me anymore, are they? I'm laughing at the people. People used to laugh at me when I said Eddie Howe is a better coach than Mourinho in terms of playing the better football. I said that. And people are like, what? Listen, Clive here is a big City fan here. He says, I'm not going on. I'll come on and post match if we beat you. He's a big fan. My friend Clive there is a big City fan. Been through it all with City. Tom, honestly, that was quite surprising, isn't it? Like Pep Guardiola talking about and taking his eye off the ball and talking about the United game and about secret weapons he's got for the United game. Like, what's going on there before they have a quarter-final game? I mean, it just sounds ludicrous, doesn't it?
Sounds ludicrous. I think in many cases, I think it sounds arrogant. I think when you underestimate a team that might not be performing in the Premier League, they've got a championship coach as their manager, for example, people will underestimate that and think, oh, it's a group of youngsters, because that is what Southampton are, barring one or two experienced players. It's all youngsters that Nathan Jones has had to coach there. But you go into the basics of it with how Pep Guardiola has said what he says. He's got a secret weapon, Man United games coming up and this, that, the other. But when you do things like that, it's ridiculous and it's ludicrous. Like Hamza said, Chelsea and Liverpool have had to beat to get to this stage already. They've done the hard work. They've just got to sprint to the finish line at the end of the day. And the only hard test that they would have really had left would have been potentially a Newcastle or a Manchester United draw. That's all that would have been left as a test for City in that cup competition. But at the end of the day, the fine margins of the game ruled out. And a lot of those players in that team, I mean, Calvin Phillips, the plan for that guy, I really don't know what Pep Guardiola's sort of plan is. Didn't play hardly any games in the first half of the season, comes back from Qatar overweight, then performances and expectations haven't been met. He'll probably be on a coach back to Leeds soon if he's not lucky. So at the end of the day, you go into the basics of it. Pep Guardiola thought, oh, right, the Manchester derby is more important. That's fine. Prove it then. You have to prove it now, Pep. You have to prove that you have these weapons of mass destruction that you're going to blow up, and you're going to be titanium that you're going to blow up at Manchester United. But the only thing I'm looking at with Man City is, since this restart of the Premier League and the resumption after the World Cup, I've not seen anything new. And I'll be very honest, I've not seen anything that I haven't seen before. It's been pretty much the same game, just with a lot of players rotating in and out of the team. Like Hamza said, Cole Palmer, Jack Grealish coming in. You won't expect them to probably play at the weekend. Maybe Grealish, unless you want to play Bernardo or Foden or whoever. But the options are there.
Rico Lewis.
Rico Lewis, yeah, I like Rico Lewis. I think he's a good young player that you've got on the team. But these sort of players, I don't think Pep needs to be using in these kind of games, because it's all about physicality. Yeah, he might know what a derby means, but if you've never played in one, you need experience in this kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, youngsters are not the way to go. Players like Phil Foden, who's had a couple of derbies, but he's young, fair enough, you can understand that. And he's had success in these kind of games. But
he's got a hat-trick in the last one.
Yeah, Phil Foden and Haaland scored a hat-trick.
Yeah. Both of them scored a hat-trick, didn't they? So at the end of the day, in those sort of games, the lines were drawn up there. But obviously, Manchester City did not have a fully strength team in that game. And I'll admit that in saying, like, you didn't have Rodri, you didn't have key players in the midfield that would be playing, for example, for tomorrow's game.
No, Tom, you're giving them too much charity there. Their second team should finish fourth in the league, mate. I'm telling you.
Well, they should do at the end of the day. But
our players are talented.
Yeah, they have talented players, but ultimately, you've spent nearly £100 million on one of them. I've not seen anything since he's come from Birmingham at all that showed me that he's worth £100 million. You brought Erling Haaland in, but it's almost as if you have to cater to his needs, not the team.
Yeah,
it's the Erling Haaland show, not the Pep Guardiola team. That team unity that's been built, that's won you 4 out of the last 5 league titles, is starting to slowly collapse. And you're seeing a team that's on the rise, who are catering for a team, not one player in Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. They're not catering for Aubameyang anymore. They've got rid of that ghost, and they're on the rise. Manchester United have just done it with Ronaldo. You're not catering for Ronaldo anymore. You're on the rise. So this is why I'm saying I don't think Erling Haaland should play from the start. I would bring him off of the bench when you've got tired defenders in the game and then you go for it. Same thing with Manchester United. We have good youngsters that we can bring off the bench. Garnacho, for example, as an impact player, you've just Kyle Walker spends 60 minutes defending against Marcus Rashford or whatever. You bring on someone like Garnacho who's going to burn it up against him for another 30 minutes, who's fresher and more and not less tired than him. I'd be panicking from Kyle Walker in many cases, but at the end of the day, I want to see this master plan then, Pep. Roll out the roll out the blueprints and let's see it all.
Yeah, we're going to see it. Big up Sammy Yassi says prediction Sunday 3-1 to Arsenal and Rashford to score hat-trick against City to help Arsenal. Laughing emoji. Big up Sammy Yassi. Hamza, you know Sammy Yassi, innit? Sammy Yassi.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was saying it's on that McDonald Wi-Fi, lol. Hamza, seriously, in terms of, for me, the first goal is important. But the question I want to ask you is that, do you think Haaland, how successful he's been, do you think it's still the teams adapting with, even though he's scored amazing 28 goals has he scored so far?
Yeah, 21 goals in the league, and I think he's scored like 25 goals general.
Something like that. Okay, so he's mid-20, like it's crazy already. It's not even halfway. Not even halfway through the season. So, but do you still think that they're getting used to him and he's getting used to the team still, even though he's scoring all these goals?
Absolutely, because I think they think that people haven't sussed out. I'll tell you what thing about City. The mistake that we've not had, and Pep needs to he needs to fix that so quick. The wing backs need to help out the wingers. There is no doubt. I see the game all the time. Like Grealish, Ake's playing on Grealish's side. You can't play Ake. He doesn't get forward. Like you have to have someone bombing forward. He takes out that winger or defender. He allows the other threat to come forward. Either he cuts in. But the problem is, since Walker and Cancelo have been injured, we've had to play Ake and Rico Lewis. Ake doesn't attack. Rico Lewis is young, but he's done so well. I promise you,
he looks so good on the ball.
Completely different. If they play Kyle Walker and Cancelo, you will see a complete, especially Kyle Walker. Especially, it is so important. I've been telling City fans, Kyle Walker is so important for us. Like in terms of pace, rescue from the back, he attacks forward, he's got pace, he helps the wing. You could see against Chelsea, he was doing that. We need to get Kyle Walker to play, Cancelo, if we have to keep them fit. But sometimes what Pep does, he plays Ake, Everton, Ake, was the back, Brentford, Ake. There's no wing backs. They're not attacking. So what happens is you got Grealish, he's got the ball, Iwobi is man marking him, and the other young Peterson. And even he looked at Ake and he said, you need to come and help me because you need to take one of those guys out. Then he helps him at least being part of the game. I think City, if they play Cancelo, you'll see completely different side. Completely. And we've missed Walker big time. And City need to sign like a left. They need to. Because Ake is brilliant. I was thinking about we have to sell one centre-back. But Ake has been our best centre back. Like even in the World Cup, he was the best player for Holland. For Netherlands, he was the best player. Fact. And he's brilliant.
The partnership between Akanji in that derby game, to me, was one of the most. How Man United were letting Akanji and Ake bring the ball out of your defense and bring it outside about it was the most strangest thing ever. And nobody was like sticking to nobody. That day, it's like our nerve just fell out of our batties. Our nerve fell out of our bottom. It was like we just absolutely hella nervous. Listen, obviously Mahrez has been your best player recently. Mahrez has been the guy that's ripping it up. Who else has been good? Who else has been good? Because we don't watch City every week. But who else has been danger man for you in this derby? Who are you looking for? Who are the danger men?
Rodri's gonna do what?
That you're looking to win you the match.
I think the guy's gonna be there, always there in the big game. KDB, Kevin De Bruyne. He stands out. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes goes missing in those big games, and you need him. This is another big game. He cannot afford to go missing. KDB plays his heart out. He knows this game. Bernardo Silva, Rodri. That is our spine. That is a spine that will play well. I believe that's the spine. Walker and Cancelo's confidence has gone down since the World Cup. Since he was dropped by that Portuguese manager. He hasn't, and he got sent off prior to him going to the World Cup. Do you remember? It was the Brentford game that he got sent off, or was it the other game? Yeah. And he was initially performing. He was doing those side foot for Haaland assists, brilliant. And suddenly, October, I don't know what happened to Cancelo. He's gone to the World Cup. Apparently, even Bernardo Silva, they said that they had to speak to Cancelo in the Portugal game when he was dropped because he was feeling down and feeling demoralized, and they had to speak. And you can see Cancelo had a bit of, he got dropped for, Pep Guardiola dropped him as well. So he hadn't played for 2 games. Now he's starting to play. We need him to get back to that form that Cancelo was, because Man United are dangerous with Rashford and Martial. We know it. That pace will burn us. And our centre-back of Stones is better than Stones, and I prefer Stones and Laporte rather than Akanji, because Akanji hasn't got that pace. Stones is more smarter. Yeah? We need to play probably Kyle Walker, Stones, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, Bernardo, KDB, and this is now a question. Yeah. Haaland will play up front, but do you play Alvarez, who would work like a dog? He will run around, he will chase around, you will not know where he is. He's going to go left, right, middle, and that's why he did it for Argentina. Or do you play Mahrez and Grealish, or do you play Ford? And that's no City fan will tell you who's going to play.
Who are you going to pick? You pick? Okay, you've just picked your team. Actually, go on. You've just picked your defense. We know your midfield is KDB, Silva, and
And it depends. So your left, I think we'll play. I can see Mahrez playing because he's in his form.
I think he's going to play Mahrez and Grealish. Lately in the big games, he's been playing Mahrez and Grealish. Yeah,
and I think he's playing Grealish Grealish. He's playing Grealish. Grealish he's been okay. If you've watched Man City this year, last year compared to this year, Grealish he's been brilliant. He runs with the ball. He takes on 1 or 2 players. He gets up. He changes game. Look at the Chelsea game. Look at the Wolves game. Look at the Leicester game. The rivals haven't seen him. Grealish is completely different to this year. He's already improved by 50%. So I'm quite happy Grealish to play because I trust Grealish. I'm not going to say anything negative about Grealish. And then Foden to come on with Gundogan is not a bad bench. And Alvarez to come on is not a bad bench if we're winning 1-0 or 2-0.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Tom, pick your team, man. Give me your United team.
Obviously David De Gea is going to go in that, but I mean back four, providing obviously fitness and stuff. Probably say Shaw, Martinez, Varane, and Delort right back, preferably if he's fit or injury concerns, whatever. If not, then it's going to be AWB into midfield. I don't really think it's a lot in doubt. Casemiro and Fernandes, I think, are mandatory to start. Eriksen, I think, probably will start. Do I think he should? I wouldn't personally start him. I would start someone like Fred. Like Manchester City have that energy player in Bernardo Silva. You need that energy player in Manchester United, and the player that can do that best for us, given the options that we have, is Fred. So I would personally play him over Eriksen. Eriksen can be brought on if you need more creativity or you're chasing the game. You then go to the attacking line. Personally, for me, I would play Rashford off the left.
Yeah,
Anthony's going to probably be off the right, and Martial's going to be up the middle, isn't he? But you have a lot of I'd say unique options coming off the bench. Then Eriksen would be an option off the bench to come on. McTominay, if you need more physicality in the midfield, is an option. You have the likes of Garnacho to come on and rip it up if you need to, or to create more chances for Martial in the box or whoever you're going to play as the centre forward. But you need to have players who are going to be quick and who are going to be direct. And I think the 3 players that we have that are that in their own right positions are Rashford off the left, Anthony off the right, and Martial through the middle. But like you say, it depends. I don't really think it's too much to do with Erik ten Hag. I just personally want to see him pick the team that's going to give Manchester City the game, and he's going to get the best performance. And we're not going to play players who are going to shy away from things. If there's a 50-50 tackle, you go full throttle at the end of the day. Players like Casemiro and that will do that. And if it means you get yellow cards or anything like that, you take the risk and you run the risk at the end of the day. I want players who are going to show some balls and show some courage, not who are going to, dive out of the 55 tackles.
No bottle
jobs. That's the word there. No bottle jobs, man. Because we've seen it all last year when we got slapped up. So exactly. I want to see something different.
Yeah, I think so. Oh wow, not playing. Alien Tunnel's not playing Martial. Martial is actually a thorn. Actually, Hamza, your record at Old Trafford is really good. Really, really good. Actually, our record, that defeat early on in the season went against the grain, because our record at the Etihad is amazing. Our record there is amazing, and it's weird. It's weird about, like, how both teams' records in each of the stadiums is like the away game's the best game. But I've looked at your away record recently. Your away record, you don't score many goals away from home.
Yeah, we score. Yeah,
you only score maybe 1 or 2. Like you've not scored, like you usually hammer 4 or 5.
Yeah,
you've been scoring a lot more goals at home this season than you have been away. What do you think that's down to? What's going on there?
Getting to play with Erling Haaland. He's performed. They're solely relying on him as the main guy. The key thing City before is they had a lot of goals from Mahrez, the wingers. Mahrez was scoring goals. Grealish, Foden was scoring goals. Foden was started to score goals, but then he hasn't scored a goal for a long time. Grealish hasn't scored. He doesn't score goals. Mahrez wasn't scoring goals. Now Mahrez is starting to score goals. This is what we need. We need goals to come from different areas. Like Bernardo Silva was scoring goals at Newcastle. This is how we used to score. Laporte header, Rodri winner, Mahrez scores the winner against Brighton, Foden scores against Everton away. And you need KDB with scoring goals. You need players. You can't rely, because other teams are just saying, oh, listen, all we need to do is if the ball doesn't go to Haaland, they're not going to score. That's what's happened. So they need to get used to this about Erling Haaland plays up front, but we need to help him out as well, because if they nullify him, we'll get up front. And that's the key thing. And if they get that together, they're going to go on this mad run again, because teams are going to be scared and say, well, who do we mark? Foden will score. Grealish will score. Bernardo's going to score. So this is what we need to create, what we did before. And goals was coming from every side.
Do you think they're all, other than taking the chances themselves, they're all looking for? Every one of them wants to set Haaland.
They're obsessed with this record. This record needs to go. Haaland needs to score goals. Haaland needs to score goals. We need to deliver. If Haaland doesn't score a goal in a game, it's a failure. It's the pressure that he was scoring hat-tricks every game. When he didn't score a hat-trick and scored 2 goals, he didn't score a hat-trick. But it's like, we need to get goals from every side. Man. Yeah?
Listen, this is not FIFA. That's unrealistic. This is real.
Exactly. And that's what I think. I think this is key. And I think we got you guys, and then we got to play Tottenham, and then we got to play Wolves, and then we got to play Arsenal in the FA Cup. So we need to get goals from everywhere else. We can't rely on Haaland all the time.
Listen, a lot of people, big up Tom, by the way, hope you can come back. Alien Tenno, if I'm not mistaken, Martial's not injured. It was a precaution. He didn't train one day last week. So this week he didn't train one day. I think he wasn't training on Monday. I think it was just a precaution. I think he's fit. That's what Ten Hag said, but we'll know more by tomorrow. I'm going to come to this. I think I picked exactly the same team as the back five. The back five picks itself. If the lot is fit, Martinez, Varane, Luke Shaw, David De Gea. Midfield for me, I won't play Eriksen. Me, Fred, Casemiro, Bruno, Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right. I wish we had Sancho, who was playing on the right, but obviously he's not involved at the moment. Anthony would play, and then it's Martial down the middle. I think that's what be our time. That's what the team will start with. That's what it's going to be. In terms of matchfulness, for me, the biggest thing what I'm looking for, Rashford at the moment, because he's playing unbelievable. And his record actually against City is really good. So we're hoping that to continue. But to me, first goal is vital. First goal is vital.
Absolutely.
30,000 fans on their feet. Everybody's going to be up for this. So 70,000 fans going for it. And every referee decision is going to be noisy on Saturday. So if Man United have to bring the fans into the game, and City are going to do everything to try to silence the fans and take it away from us in terms of the fan base who are in that stadium. But if we score first, Hamza, I'm telling you, you're going to get even more desperate to open up. And that's what in the counter. So first goal for me, more than any other derby, is vital.
Both will I think both will play cautious. Both who play.
I remember during lockdown when you came to Old Trafford. That was the weirdest game ever. You remember that game when you came to Old Trafford during a lockdown season, empty stadium.
Yeah.
And I never saw Man City play that defensive at Old Trafford.
Yeah. They
It's
waited
like
for you.
like, oh, you guys have the ball. We don't want the ball.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, completely. I remember they gave you the
It
ball.
was the only time I ever saw Pep Guardiola literally change his tactics.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is he doing? It was like, oh, I've come here to play for the point. Do you think there's any chance of him doing that on Saturday?
I think no. I think he'll suss at United. Like, listen, frustrate the fans by keeping the ball. That's what the first thing he will do. Like, I think keeping the ball and ball possession, play around them. Either you pack that whole midfield and you just play around and keep the ball frustrated. You'll frustrate the fans. They'll become nervous as the game goes. As the game goes, just create that one chance or two chance for Haaland. You know he's deadly. He's a striker. He's going to wait for that little ball or Mahrez to cross it. He's going to wait for that Grealish cross. So he's going to wait for KDB to cross. And the more we're creating that, we have to be patient. And the key thing, do not make mistakes. Because you can't afford to make mistakes these kind of games. You can't. Because once the first goal goes in, you panic if we score. You panic. You have to come forward.
Yeah, 100%. But if we get it, then I know you're going to panic. And that's where the mistakes come in your team. Because defensively, because you're not used to being attacked. You usually have 70%, 80% of possession. And you're not used to being your defenders being attacked.
Yeah.
That's where you panic. That's where the mistakes come from you. When decent teams, it shows in the Champions League, when your defense is attacked, for me, it shows the frailties. Because you're not used to it. They're not used to being game in, game out, being attacked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
They're not used to that. They're not used to thinking for themselves or thinking, how can we sort this out? Unless you pass the team off the pitch by keeping hold of the ball. So it's going to be very interesting. I think a lot of people are hoping that Casemiro has one of his best games. I remember Casemiro playing with Real Madrid, playing at the Etihad, and you beat them comfortably. You actually forced Varane to make mistakes, if I'm not mistaken, in that Champions League. So, you know, it's not like Casemiro's never played against Man City. He was playing against you while you were taking the mick out of them, but you just couldn't finish your chances, and then they got you back in at the end with Benzema and the Brazilian. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You didn't take your chances, and they did.
They did, completely. And you can't do that. You can't do that in big games. You can't have chances in big games, and you're missing those chances because big game you will get punished. You get punished. 100%. And the one thing I hate is in big games, sometimes some players are big-headed. They'll have an opportunity and they'll be greedy. They see that glory, newspaper headlines, and he will never pass. And I've seen those. It has happened so many times to us. A player missing an opportunity. Mahrez not passing to Foden when Foden was in the best chance possible to score a goal because he wants to score. And football is a team sport. Football is a team sport. It's 11 men, especially big men. Big games, it's 11 men. One man doesn't raise his standards, he can let down the whole team.
No, 100% I agree with you. And actually, what's the most worrying thing for Manchester United is that we've missed chances after chance this season. In most games under Eric Ten Hag, Man United create, but we can't finish.
You can't. You haven't got a striker.
The whole team's taking in turns to miss chances except for Rashford. Big up HK and Music. He says, Felix looked like Chelsea's best player before the red card. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's going to be holding tight for 3 games, so he'll get to acclimatise to England.
Yeah. He's missing key games against Chelsea. It's Crystal Palace and Liverpool away. They needed him. That's a game they needed. They're now, is he 11th in the league or 10th in the league? They were 10th in the league before the thing. And now, looking back, Chelsea are 10th.
And this is what Jesus said. He's my favorite. Wow, it's crazy. And this is what Jesus is saying. He's my favorite Chelsea player after the red card.
Wow.
It's crazy. City fans can't cope with a position that puts cannot pass them, and they run around like chickens with no head, no heads in the teams in Europe. Got to them. Yeah, to me, I always thought the teams in Europe are more composed. They're not asked about you keeping the ball. They'll think, keep the ball. We'll get our time, and then we'll pick you apart in defense. And for me, this is the game. I'll be there at 12:30 on Sunday. Actually, I'm going to the protest. It's a protest. Anti-Glazer protest at 11 o'clock, so I'll be going to that. And I'll be walking up to the match. But it's going to be a fascinating game. I think for me, these players own the United fans globally and in Manchester. They always won because to me, there's no shame in losing. City are a fantastic team, and you're the better team at the moment. I've been in the past couple of years, and most likely you could win your fifth league in in six leagues. In 6 times you could win 5 out of the 6 this season, unless Arsenal do something special. But I look at it, I think it's the way we fight. So for me, it's not even about it's a derby. I just want Man United players to turn up, and then I want to clap them off, win, lose or draw. I want to clap them off because they gave everything. They left everything on the football pitch.
Yeah,
that is what I'm looking at for me. But if we score first, our record in the second half, we've got the best defensive record in second halves in the Premier League.
Oh wow, that's
so.
fantastic.
If we're in a winning position, we don't lose. We go to win. We don't concede in second halves. We don't concede in second halves in the league. We concede in the first half, but in the league we don't concede in the second half. Our defensive record is incredible.
Are you more under pressure? Do you think you guys are more under pressure than us? Like this game, it depends who's more under pressure to win.
I think you're under pressure because what happened to Southampton? Everybody's looking at Man City now. Because if you would have beat Southampton, the pressure would have been at United because United at home. Because everybody's saying United are back, United are this, United are that. Some United fans think we're in a title race, and I'm like, to me,
completely.
If these 3 games will dictate where we go for the next 10 games. They will dictate not the whole season, but for the next 10 games. So if we beat you, then we beat Palace and get a point against Arsenal or beat Arsenal. The level of confidence, because ours is about confidence. The level of confidence within the squad and the belief within the fan base will be huge, right?
Yeah, completely.
So for me, if you beat in Southampton, it'll be like, you know what, Man City are still a better team on the whole, but United, the pressure's on United to beat City. But now that you lost this game, everybody's talking about how you lost and the way you lost, you didn't have a shot on goal. And you had team almost full of internationals out there, and they didn't have a shot on goal. So to me, the fact that the way you played and the way you lost against Southampton, the pressure's on you.
Absolutely. I can see that. And that's why it's important for us to win this game. Like, it's so important because we're chasing Arsenal. We're 5 points behind.
Plus, exactly. And plus, Arsenal are playing in a derby game of their own on the Sunday. So you have to go and put the points on the board.
Completely. Absolutely.
Let's get something.
Absolutely. We have to win this game. I think it's a must win. If we do win this game, my God, the confidence, it will be so high, like going to the Tottenham game. Having won at Chelsea 3 points, beat United 3 points, I think it gives that confidence. And then Arsenal will be under pressure, huge pressure. Like Arsenal was supposed to go 10 points ahead before we played Chelsea. And we had that opportunity, we took that. And I don't mind. Fans will say we don't mind losing that Carling Cup. So this game, I can see our players, like they know this is a game. This is a game that City fans have always looked at them and say, we want you to get a win. They didn't get the win against Liverpool away, which was annoying. Chelsea away, they've got that. You guys are another team, and Tottenham are the main games that we need to win. And it gives that like happiness amongst City fans, just to feel happy and content, like we've done an achievement of beating United for the double. We've beaten them home and away again. And I think that will create so much confidence in our team. Beating you guys is key to our league, pushing the league for the league title, I think.
Big up Paul Rowland. That was, I'm talking about, from open play. I should have said from open play because Chelsea got a penalty, which Scott McTominay stupidly gave away. Listen, apparently, according to an article today, and you're the best person to speak to because we all know that Man City do blood doping. They do the blood doping in terms of the money. I see Man City making more money than Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, and I'm like, where are these City fans? Where are these City fans that are buying all these shirts, buying all this merchandise globally? Where's the global fan base that goes into like hundreds of millions? And I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. Well, Etihad, your stadium's named after the airline, and the airline literally sponsors your shirts. So of course, you're gonna give the biggest payday in terms of how you fund the club. Now, let me explain to people. the new UEFA, I don't know if you've seen this, Hamza.
Yeah.
UEFA's new FFP, financial fair play rules,
Yeah.
are going to come into effect because of the Glazers. What the Glazers have done to our football club, we own 307 million in terms of transfer. We still own on players that we bought. We owe 307 million, right? Because of that, and because of the wage structure that we have at Man United, we don't have a wage structure where we've got bloated wage structure. That means that if we were got bought by oil-rich new owners, Manchester United cannot go out like you guys go out and buying 5 players for 60 million each. We can't do it. Because it will all depend on your wages, how much wages you pay. Is exactly similar what La Liga done to Barcelona.
Okay.
You have to match the wages that you've got, your wage limit, the amount of wages that you can pay the players, and the amount of money that you have to spend. So it's going to be 70%. So if Man United makes 600 million, let's say, that's what we made last season. I think 2021 was 600 million. 70% of that already goes to the wages.
Wow.
Almost 70% of that goes to the wages.
Yeah.
Because our wages, we pay, I think it's nearly over 300 million in wages.
Oh my God.
So we can't go and then spend the rest. And then the wages will then be more because we're buying more players.
Yeah, completely.
So obviously, Man City now making 800 million a year. Obviously, because you got the biggest sponsor. It's almost like daddy giving the son. Wear the shirt, son. Let me give you that. That's what Sheikh Mansour is like, isn't it? Like Sheikh Mansour treats like Man City, like the son, like his firstborn. There you go, son. You just take this and wear the shirt, advertise the shirt for me. There you go. So that's what we'll have to do, or else we're going to have to be pulling levers. So that's fascinating, and it looks like Man City guys have known about this. You've already known that this is coming down the line. Yeah. So that's why you've got these shirt sponsors that are paying some ludicrous amount of money. And like we said, you dope in it. You do what you. To me, Man City, in terms of when it comes to like financial fair play rules, are like the Lambs Armstrong of football. Those of you who know
the doping,
bit of doping. Because like I said, Sheikh Mansour's dope is there, man. He's almost giving his son some steroids there. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Go on. Get back in that gym. Take this good stuff. Paying to do this. It's ridiculous. So it's going to be very interesting. Because everybody was thinking, okay, we're going to get new owners and we're going to be able to compete now with City for players. But because of the debt that we have, that's going to be very interesting.
Because
what do you think to that? What do you think to these new rules? And obviously, can you also explain to us how you paid them 10 million, Hamza, but you did nothing wrong? So,
listen,
how can I pay you 10 million?
I've always believed like innocent till proven guilty. And I think
why are you paying money if you're innocent?
We were taken to, it was the CAS. And I think from that, we were guilty of not cooperating with UEFA. But I just believe UEFA is a corrupt organization. I believe everyone is corrupt. I think everyone is corrupt completely. United are corrupt. Liverpool are corrupt. They've always been corrupt. Like tapping players, doing this behind the scene. You hear about Liverpool wanting to buy Bellingham, but then they're offering father something, Mark Bell. You're hearing this kind of rumor. Football is corrupt. No one is smooth in this game. No way. There's no way. Yeah.
Hamza, but I understand that. I understand football is a murky business. But I want you to stick to the blood doping here, the Lance Armstrong business. That's what I want you to stick to. And I want you to explain to the United fans, how can you pay 10 million when you've done nothing wrong?
No, we were found guilty for not cooperating with UEFA. That's what we did. We were found guilty of not cooperating to UEFA, but we were not found guilty. Like in terms of the investigation was more than 5 years old. Throw it down. Like there's no point. Like everyone does the same thing. But I knew straight away. Pep said it. We know we were innocent. We didn't pay UEFA anything. We went to CAS and we were found not guilty, but we were told because we were being invested by UEFA. Why did you not cooperate? We felt that UEFA were targeting us, and I think City didn't feel confident of dealing with UEFA, but they had to pay that 10 million. We've done it. We are out of jail. We're now free of jail. Why you wanna Why do you guys want to send us to jail again? We've done our jail time.
Freedom! We got locked up. They won't let me up. There's a 10 million. There's a 10 million. Like, we need to get freedom. It's funny that for me, listen, I agree with you on the whole, yeah. Like the FIFA, UEFA, all these sport institutions, like there's always corruption. Corruption is not far away from them. Because I think most of these football institutions are like all of these institutions, like the banking system. You know what I mean? All these other companies, they're all doing dodgy stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody's making money unless you have to make dodgy stuff. So, but it's the idea for me is just that, like, to me, you didn't cooperate for 5 years with UEFA because you couldn't have a bigger shredder to shred all the evidence. That's what was happening. Let's not lie here. City were going around buying the biggest shredders to burn the paper to get to the warehouse, all the evidence to burn that. It took you 5 years. You're not even good criminals, are you? 5 years to burn all the evidence.
But they said the Premier League were investigating this 2 years ago. What's happened?
Sheikh
if we were guilty, what they come and say?
Listen,
like, Premier League hasn't said anything.
Sheikh Mansour came over, mate, and took the head of the Premier League. Brown envelope them, mate. Brown envelope them, mate.
I think you guys should congratulate. You should congratulate us. Like
Hamza, if you check the Instagram of the head of the Premier League guys' sons and daughters, just check out staying in the Prince's Palace in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Check out where they're partying. We all know how you. It's called the brown envelope. That's what the
City Football Group. They absolutely the way they done their business. They congratulate these guys. They said it. I remember when they bought City. They said, we don't know much about football, but we're here to put things in place as a football structure to make sure this is the best sporting project and we have the best sporting project in the world. Not in terms of not football.
Hamza, you know what they said as well? Hamza, you missed out, but you know what they said? Yeah. We also know the colors of brown paper bag. There's the brown envelope. They said, we don't know nothing about football, but we're going to build the best sporting project. And here is your brown envelope. They were dashing it out like they were biscuits, man. I'm telling you now. Or like mince pies at Christmas. I'm telling you.
Rumors, man. We're innocent to proven guilty. We're innocent to proven guilty. These are rumors. You try to tarnish our reputation. I don't believe that.
Tarnish your reputation. I'm telling you. Listen, Hamza, it's been an absolute pleasure. Come on, tell me the score. You're going to be there. You're going to be in their way end, obviously.
Nah. I managed to get the tickets in there. You can't sell your tickets. And I found one of the tickets to sit behind Eric Ten Hag. And I'm going to pretend I'm supporting United. But come on, guys, man. You guys are talking about empty hand. I found a ticket with you guys. Come on, get out of here.
I'm not going to lie to you.
You can't sell your tickets.
I'm not going to lie to you. You probably bought that of one of the Dubai lot, brown envelope. One of the Dubai lot who's a United fan who can't make it, who's not here. You know what I mean? He's in somewhere in sunny California at the moment. That's probably what it is. But give me your score predictions. People, get in your score predictions as well, please. Don't let me grass you up to the rest of the United fan. Make sure you got a big hoodie.
No, I've got a hoodie and all that. Listen, I'm going to get a hoodie.
Yeah, exactly. Ball it up. Corona and all that. Corona.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, I have to behave like it's my first ever time to be at Old Trafford. Never have I been Old Trafford. Let me see these stadiums all about. This historic stadium. I've been in Milan. I've been to Barcelona, the new camp. Let me go to Old Trafford and see now.
Well, there you go. You spoke about you've been at the San Siro, you've been at the Barca Stadium, and exactly it ranks up there. It's the biggest, just to let you know, it's the biggest stadium domestically in this country. So first time going to the biggest stadium in the country. So let's hope Man United put on a show for you and make it your last, Hamza.
Nah.
Well, go on, give me the score. Give me the score.
I think we'll beat you 3-1. 3-1. I think we're gonna go there. As I said, it's never been the same since Balotelli went there and said, "That's it." When we scored there with Aguero, Silva, Dzeko, I think that, to me, I'm not scared of United at Old Trafford. I'm quite confident we'll beat you 3-1.
But you scared of United at the Etihad, though? You are, aren't you?
Yeah, I know you guys are dangerous at the Etihad.
To be fair, you know what? A lot of people think it's a draw, so we got people here 2-1. A lot of people think it's going to be a draw. Big up Stephen Kramer. Hamza, you can't even beat you haven't
You
been
been to a
Celtic,
Celtic pack or
real
a
European guy
European
now,
guy.
100%. The history of Celtic, mate. Oh my God.
Wow.
2 goals with clean sheet versus City. Don't want peace. I want problems. We want problems. This is what it is. Listen, I'm not as confident. I think it's going to be a draw. I can see a draw. I can see. I think it might be a good game, but I can see a draw. I can see a draw. But to me, Man United have to fight. To me, like I said, win or lose or draw. Nothing wrong with losing a football game. Nothing wrong. But it's the way you lose.
Yeah.
So for me, when I come back from the stadium with a match reaction here, I'll be on here to make sure that I can say, you know what, they might have lost, we might have drawn, but I'm proud of every United player. And I'm no longer referring to them in the derby games as cowards. That is what is going to be for me. But it is what it is. It's going to be very, very interesting, man. Very interesting. For me, first goal, if United score first goal, I'll be shocked if United lose from a winning position, unless you equalize. If it's 1-0 to United at half-time, I'll be worried for City. That's just me, I think. But if it's the other way around, then I can see you getting 3. I could see you. After you get 1, we might get desperate and push for it, and then I can see you catching us.
If your fans ain't walking out by halftime, I take it as a disgrace performance. I need to see your fans again walking up or upset already by halftime. Like, that's what I need to see.
If that happens, I'm not going to lie to you. If that happens, I'm going to boo every single one of those United players. I will be. I will be, honestly. I will be. I don't know if he's registered in time, but I doubt it. They're going to get him registered in time.
No, not yet.
He's not. So we'll see. But we need options. We've not got 0 options. If we were a normal club, I'll ask you this last question. Are Man United a threat if the Glazers go? Yes or no, Hamza?
I don't want them to be bought by Arab owners. That's key. That's key. That is key. I don't want this. I've been hearing the Qatari, whatever it is. That's the worst nightmare for me. No way. It can't happen. If they go, fine. I don't mind. I don't mind these American owners, but I don't want these Arab owners because I know they will flash United. And I don't want that. I pray it doesn't happen. No chance. If it happens, oh my God.
Red Devil rising. The devil is rising, yeah?
Completely. No, I need you guys, yeah. Sell to a consortium, whatever it is, or American consortium, I don't mind. But to sell to these Middle Eastern owners, yeah, there is no, or Dubai owners, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Like the world of football is in trouble.
You've heard it from Hamza. Because you've heard it from Hamza.
God Almighty, never make that happen. I've suffered enough. Years of suffering during the Fergie. I don't want to suffer anymore, man. I've lost all my hair because United.
Listen, Hamza's childhood was ruined by Fergie and United.
Oh God.
That the bit that you don't know, guys. Hamza, he's got a baby face, but he's been around for a while. He's been around for a minute. He remembers Fergie. He remember Hamza used to get bullied in the playground for being bullied. Man, that's what used to happen to him. But it is what it is. Listen, big up Hamza. Let people know people, yeah? Hamza, if any of you City fans want to give him a follow, anybody, he does some incredible content, actually, funny content. And that's why I'm telling him to make sure he's ballied up before he goes to the United, because he's quite famous, he's quite well known on Twitter. And he's quite well known in his TikTok. He's got the funniest TikToks ever. With his TikTok. So that's why he's going incognito. But make sure all across social media, Man City Hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is you on TikTok and Instagram?
That's why I'm on TikTok and Twitter.
Okay, there you go. So make sure you're going for. Listen, hopefully you can jump back on. Hopefully, are you going to stay around Manchester after that? You're going back?
I'll be traveling back because I need to see Arsenal losing that game at Tottenham, and I need that. So I don't want to be traveling. I want to watch that game. It has to happen. I need to have a fantastic weekend, brilliant weekend.
So you play Saturday night? Do they play Saturday night?
They're playing Sunday. So I might travel Saturday night back to London.
There you go. Hopefully, we'll see if we can catch you to come back to do a match reaction if you're even on your phone for 5 minutes. Hopefully, you'll turn up. But big up to Hamza. Listen, big up, love and light, people. That's been your Man United preview. We don't go into how City tactically play because everybody knows what City is. City won the ball. City won 70% possession. City are gonna go recycle, recycle. That's what they're going to do. We already know. Everybody knows how City play. But can Man United turn up? Give me 3 players you're scared of a Man United team.
Rashford, Martial, and I'll tell you, Casemiro. That's the guy. Experience. Martial is dangerous. When Martial performs, he's unstoppable. He should have been up there. He should have. There's no doubt that player is so talented. And I just, it's so sad to see Rashford, Martial, when they came up, these guys they came up as the next superstars. And it's so sad last 3-4 years what's happened to them. He should have been playing for France. He should have been there if the likes of Nkunku are getting called up. Martial had to be called up. But unfortunately, Martial, I don't know what's happened. And confidence as well. When you're not playing well, you're being criticized. It's a tough pressure for this footballer.
The injuries that have killed him. The injuries have killed him. But big up Hamza. Listen.
Big up, guys.
Make sure you give him a like, people, and give him a follow as well. Smash a like for Hamza, man. Hamza, hopefully this will be a regular. When you set the proper YouTube up, we'll do the same.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Thank you so much, guys.
Hopefully I'll catch you outside the stadium because I'm definitely coming on your TikTok if we win. Even win or lose, actually, I'm coming on your TikTok. So make sure after the game, you're outside Hotel Football, okay?
Definitely, bro. Take care, guys.
Peace. Take care, people. Good night, people. Win, lose, or draw, people. Glazers out, bankers out. I'll be at the protest. Hopefully, I'll try to get some footage. But take care. And somebody asked Usman Ferguson, what do I think about Anthony? I think Anthony is young. He's going to get better. He's 22 years old. It's his first season in English football. The amount of games that he's played, he's got a good scoring record. So hopefully, may that continue. We need to be patient with him. I fell out with him. I forgive him now. I fell out with him because he wanted to go to the World Cup early. And he left us for 3 games. So I fell out with him, but I've forgiven him now. I'm forgiving him, and I think we need to get behind him. Love and light, people. Peace. Win, lose, or draw. Bankers out. Glazers out. I think it's going to be a draw, but we'll see. But if United do what they did against them at the Etihad, it's going to be an embarrassing. And I hope for the manager's sake and for the players' sake they turn out, because to me, I will certify them as cowards if they don't turn up. Peace, love, and light, people. Take care. Good night.